Hey, yo, what is good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to NextGen Wealth Tips. As we're going back into a bullish market, I want to show you guys some option plays that can make you some money next week. We're going to be looking at options that kind of expire by the end of next week, which will be the 10th. So without further ado, let's get started. Just to show you guys, most of the big tech stocks are green for the day, except for Apple. Apple, we are looking a little bearish. When we don't have Apple in this one, but I recommend playing a play for Apple, a bearish play, a put. If you guys see the bearish momentum still go for next week, that is one recommendation that I have. But we have to kind of see how Monday plays out to really see how Apple moves. So I recommend looking at a put for Apple. But with that being said, let's get started. I got some screenshots for y'all so y'all can kind of follow along with it. But we're going to start off with NVIDIA, what I think the levels that we're going to get to. With that being said, NVIDIA has been pretty bullish for the past couple of days, even with the sell off. Don't mind all these lines I got. It's kind of messy. Some of the charts are pretty messy. But with that being said, I think NVIDIA can get up to the 145, break the level 146 to the 147 level. We can probably even see NVIDIA reach that 150 level if we keep on doing good. With that being said, I do got some puts and some calls. So we're gonna start off with the put because if we do start falling down, we can see if it breaks that 142 level, if it breaks that 140 or 142.70, and then 142 down to the 141, and we might even get below to the 139, 138. Like we might see that next week, 139 to the 138. So if you see it, still see it bounce off the 145, like it kind of did here, it kind of bounced off the 145. We might see that on Monday where it might go up to like a level like 145 to 146 and start bouncing down. So if you do see it bounce off one of these lines, I recommend getting a put. And some of the puts that I recommend is 143 to a 145 put, but it just depends on where it bounces off. So if we see it bounce off, maybe the 147, you can get a 145. But if it bounces off 145, if you have the bread, you can get the 145 put. But if it bounces off the 145, you can make a lot of money off the 143 put. These are plays that I recommend holding throughout the week, but I think for weekly plays, you should try to sell. If you buy it on Monday, do not buy it too early. Wait a little bit for the market to kind of get some buyers out because you might buy it overpriced call or put. So try not to do that. But with that being said, I recommend selling if you buy it on Monday with the expiration stuff like that. I'd sell it by Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday, if you see the stock going up and you're in profit a decent amount and you think it's going to keep dropping or keep going up, depending on what you buy, call or put. But with that being said, I recommend buying these ones if it starts going down. But to the upside, just like we were just talking about, I think a 147 call to a 145 call. I think 145 is a little bit better, but if you want to save a little bit more money, you can get that 147. But I recommend getting the 145, especially if it breaks the level of the 145. Just see if you're still in a bullish trend and we get some good news. It might break that 145, break the 146, break the 147, all the way up. It might show some more resistance with the 148. But if it breaks that 148, just like I said earlier, we might be hitting that 150 level. If we do somehow magically hit that 150 level and you get a 145 call for this cheap, you will be making some money. These are going to be a little bit cheaper. I screenshotted these today, which is Friday, basically. So it's going to be cheaper because over the weekend and you got expiration and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. They're not going to be this expensive unless you see the stock go up, of course. Next, we're going to be talking about a bigger stock like Tesla. So basically, Tesla has been pretty bearish recently with their bad news with the numbers, but we came out with some good China numbers. With that being said, making the stock go up, breaking that 400 level that we just hit. But with that being said, I think if we do have like a market, maybe Monday we might see it maybe at 410 and then it might bounce below that 400, maybe hitting 395 to 390 and maybe low 388s, and then it's going to bounce back all the way up, maybe past the 412, 415, and a key level of 420. But that's kind of just what the market normally does. But with that being said, I recommend just going with the flow. And if you see it going up, go up with it. And if you see it go down with it. But with that being said, when markets open, as you've seen earlier, even though we had news earlier, you see it go up and then it kind of reverses and then it goes back up. So just this kind of me telling you guys to have patience. Let me see Tesla on like a normal day. Like as you can see Tesla on this day, you seen like a bullish day pre-market and then it became bullish for the rest of the day until later on it reached the top and then it started falling once again. So the stock normally moves like this all the time. So just be on the right side and just have patience because if you don't have enough patience, you're probably going to get into it. You're probably going to buy a call here. Like imagine if you bought a call here and then it drops instantly and you're going to stay in it. You're going to be, oh, it's going to go back up. And then you're going to see these green candles and then think it's going to go back up. And then it keeps on going down and you just blew your account. So be patient with these plays. Have some key levels. Like today, I think a lot of people, and I was one of them, I kind of said that I think it's going to bounce off the 390 level. And as you can see, it bounced off the 390 level. You didn't really get too much, but it bounced off the 390 level and then went all the way down to 383. That's like $7 in the money right there. And you can make a decent amount just off of that. Just have levels that you wanted to meet and then let it bounce off because like a key level like 390 and I think 400 would be a big level. Like you might be able to see it drop to 400 and then if you see it bounce off the 400, that could be an easy call going upwards. But if you see it on that 400 and it goes below that 400, you could probably look at other levels like 396 to 394 and then see if it bounces off those key levels. And then 390 can be another one bouncing up too. Like if it breaks all of these levels, but then you see it bounce off the 390 and it starts going up, you can probably see a $10 or $20 move just off of that. So I kind of want to have that on your mind so that you guys know. And with that being said, we can do it the other way too. Like let's say it's 420, you see it bounce off the 420, a 395 put to a $400 put. I think for this one, if it does bounce off to 420, I'd probably get like a 415 to 410 put. But that's just if it gets up to 420, honestly. But if it bounced off to 420, 415, 410, and if you see it bounce maybe over the weekend, and the market opens up maybe 405 or something, you see it bounce off to 410. And if it bounces off to 410, these are some good puts to do because once it breaks that 400, you're going to be in the money probably $5, $6. And then it might hit that 395 level to 390. So that's why I think these are good puts. But honestly, I recommend with all of the puts that I do, just change up your levels. Like have it close to being in the money because you don't want to buy out of the money plays and it doesn't reach it. So let's say if it does hit that 420 level, like I said earlier, buy 415 to 410 puts. But then if it gets up to like 430 somehow, I'd buy a 425 to a 420 put. So try and change it as it goes. But these are some puts for right now. Depending on how the market moves, if we can just stay kind of neutral. It's kind of 940, so the market's about to close, but just change up your numbers as you go. But with that being said, let's talk about some calls. I got a 430 call and a 420 call. The reason being is just like I said earlier, like if we break some key levels, we can easily hit that 420 level and it's only like $800 and like I said earlier, like Monday with the timing and stuff like that, it's going to change. So I think we can easily probably hit 430 by next week. So that's why I'm saying 420 to 430. And if you think it's going to hit 430, I recommend getting maybe $5 to $10 below it, just because you don't because let's say if it hits 430, but it's Friday, you just lost your money. You know, I'm gonna stop yapping and tell you guys the next one. I think Spy, you can make a lot of money if you can plan it out right. For this one, I got it for Jan 9 of Jan, but at the same time, you can probably get a 10 also. But I recommend if you do play Spy, get it a few days ahead. Don't get it the next day. And then if you want to day trade it, I recommend getting it the day after the next. So basically, let's say if you're trading on the 6th, I recommend getting it on the 8th, just so that you have that whole day. Because then if you get a if it's the 6th and then you get a trade for the 7th, you're not really going to like the DTE is going to drop and your price is going to drop a lot. If I kind of explain that right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make an options video soon to explain it a little bit more, but I'm just explaining what some plays that you guys should do. So recently, I haven't even checked this out, but recently, as you guys can see, it bounced off the 592.50 level. So this is going to be key also to be thinking about. So let's say it's Monday it opens up. Maybe you see a little bit of a drop because it's been dropping as market opens. And then you start seeing some levels. So I think we might be able to open up at 591.50 maybe, and then see if it breaks that 592 level, 592.50. And if it breaks above that, you can easily make some money. But if it starts going to the upside, I recommend getting a 593 call to a 590 call. The 590 is a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, it's going to be more safe. So if it does start bouncing up, I believe it's going to break past the 592. Look at the 592.50. It might show some resistance, might bounce off. This can be where you can buy some, or look at it on Monday and buy some puts if you see it bounce off and bounce off heavily. Because if it bounces off, we might get $1 to $2 in the money if you can buy it soon enough. With some puts that I got a 590 put and a 588 put. But if it bounced off the 592 put, we might be able to see it bounce all the way down to the 590 level, but maybe bounce up. but also 591 is a key level. So you might see it bounce off here to the 591 and then bounce back up and then go up. So I just recommend watching these key levels. Like if you get into a put right here and then it does start dipping, look at the 592 level, see how it acts. If it breaks past that, look at the 591 level, 591.50, and then 590 level itself, or 591 one level. And then if it bounces past that, you can hold. But if you see it bounce up a little bit, I recommend selling because the chances of it going higher is probably like a 60-40 chance, and you don't really want to chance that. But with that being said, I'm sorry I was yapping more because I kind of want to make sure that you guys have some of these ideas planted into your head on how to buy your own options. And I didn't really want to make you guys risk too much. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just explaining what I think, some plays that I'm going to be playing next week and some plays that I recommend you guys to look into. But I'm not saying do not watch this video and then play these exact plays. I recommend looking at your own levels. These are my levels. I recommend looking at your own levels, looking at other people's levels, see what are some good levels to buy from, because sometimes my levels might not be correct, or maybe there's some better levels out there. And at the same time, do not copy off other people. Make sure that you have your own idea of what you want to play, and make sure you have an idea of what you want to do before the day starts, because you don't want to just get into a random play. That being said, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. I got some other videos on options and trades and penny stocks to buy. And I do daily videos on the market, just like I kind of did today, but I kind of just explain some levels, some key levels to watch and what the market might do. So yeah, smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and thank you guys.